The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
It is the kind of cultural frenzy we really haven't seen in decades.
Exactly. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today we are doing a massive deep dive into what they aren't telling you about Swift and Kelce.
I am so ready for this. I'm your host, and our mission today is to cut through the deafening noise. We are taking a massive stack of sources, music reviews, fashion blogs, financial reports, and sports analytics to look at the multi-layered billion-dollar cultural empire of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in early 2026.
And I'm your resident pop culture expert. It really is a fascinating case study. We are looking at a symbiotic global brand operating at a level of visibility we rarely see, even at the absolute highest echelons of Hollywood.
I want to set the scene for you right now because it perfectly captures the paradox we're going to talk about. Picture this. It's late February. A massive blizzard is hitting New York City. The streets are blanketed in white, completely quiet.
Right.
And tucked away at a private table inside an exclusive 1930s-inspired club, you have the world's most famous couple just trying to carve out a normal, quiet evening.
Just trying to exist.
Exactly. Meanwhile, outside those heavy wooden doors, they are dominating global headlines, shattering Spotify records, and making massive landscape-shifting waves in the NFL.
It is the ultimate paradox of modern fame. And today, we are going to take you on a journey through all of the moving parts of that paradox. We will be breaking down the incredibly divisive reception of Swift's 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl. We'll explore their recent shift toward quiet luxury and some major career pivots.
And that's not even the wildest part. Later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding their inner circle.
Oh, the guest list drama. You definitely do not want to miss that. We'll also examine the bizarre, sometimes dark controversies surrounding them.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the music. The sources are absolutely flooded with takes on the life of a showgirl, or TS12. It dropped to massive fanfare. It's a 41-minute, 12-track record, and from everything I'm reading, it marks a huge milestone. It's her first completely joyful work.
Yeah, it essentially serves as one big, glittering love letter to her fiancé. That is the defining characteristic of the record. And for the diehards following the production credits, it marks the return of legendary pop producers Max Martin and Shellback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after an 8-year hiatus. That signals a significant sonic shift away from the moody, acoustic synth-pop she's favored recently, right back into massive, stadium-ready anthems.
I was looking at the track-by-track breakdowns in our notes, and there's some wild details.
Yeah.
What stood out to you in the actual songwriting?
Well, the lyrical wordplay is front and center, but it's blending high and low culture in a really interesting way. Look at track 1, The Fate of Ophelia. She takes this classic Shakespearean tragedy and abruptly mixes it with modern internet slang.
Right, there is that line where she sings, "Keep it 100 in the land, the sea, the sky."
Which is definitely a stylistic collision.
It really is. And then there's track 6, Honey, which the reviews describe as this incredibly vulnerable love song. She actually calls him her
forever nightstand.
Yes, her forever nightstand. It's so intimate. I also saw a lot of chatter about track 8, Elizabeth Taylor. What is the story there?
That track is a brilliant piece of lyrical math. Swift sings about having naturally blue eyes, but when she cries, they turn red. Blue and red make purple, resulting in violet eyes, which of course the legendary actress Elizabeth Taylor was famous for.
Oh, I love that.
Right. Swift is essentially asking Kelce not to leave her with the same tragic, highly publicized fate in love that Elizabeth Taylor endured.
That is actually incredibly clever. And we have to mention track 12, the title track, The Life of a Showgirl, featuring Sabrina Carpenter. The sources say it centers around a fictional showgirl named Kitty.
Yeah, and Kitty acts as a mentor figure, warning Swift about the dark side of all this glitter and the inevitable pitfalls of fame.
But despite all these clever details, the response has been completely split.
What's fascinating here is the sheer polarization of the response. On one hand, the commercial success is an unstoppable juggernaut. The album had 5 million pre-saves and immediately broke Spotify debut records. But critically, it's highly divisive. Anthony Fantano of The Needle Drop, a very prominent music critic, reviewed it and gave it a light 3 or 4 out of 10.
Ouch.
Yeah. His exact words were that the record felt, quote, dumbed down.
And reading through the fan forums, especially the Swiftly neutral subreddit, the listeners are deeply divided too. I was surprised to see a massive debate sparking up that compares Kelce to Swift's ex, Joe Alwyn, specifically as a musical muse. Why is that comparison causing so much friction?
To understand that, we really need to look back at her past work. For listeners who might not follow the deep lore, her Reputation era a few years ago was defined by intense secrecy. Because the public knew absolutely nothing about Joe Alwyn, he acted as a mysterious blank canvas.
Right.
That allowed Swift to write incredibly sensual, nuanced poetry songs like Dress and Delicate, where listeners could easily project their own romances onto the lyrics. Kelce, by contrast, is highly overexposed.
We know his podcast, we know his football stats, we see him in a dozen commercials every Sunday.
Exactly, there is no mystery left.
Which naturally leads us to track forward.
Yeah.
I have to admit, reading the lyrics in our sources, the fan cringe surrounding this track is off the charts. It is incredibly raunchy. The lyrics are literally redwood tree. It ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs.
It's very direct.
It is. She also explicitly mentions reaching new heights of man.
New heights of manhood.
Which is a direct, undeniable plug for Kelce's real-life podcast, New Heights.
And that literalness is exactly the core of the criticism. Listeners on Reddit are expressing that they feel almost like non-consensual voyeurs. They are arguing that dropping literal football terminology and podcast branding into a track about intimacy is way too on the nose. It strips away the elegance of her past storytelling, leaving absolutely nothing to the imagination.
I can see how that shatters the illusion. It's like you're sitting in the room with them, and not in a good way. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because despite the lyrical debate, she is fully steering into this new aesthetic, especially visually. I found the Opalite music video details fascinating.
The visual direction is wild.
She directed it herself, and it leans heavy into a rich 1990s rom-com vibe. But the crazy part is where they shot it secretly on 35mm film inside the Whitgift Centre, which is a slightly run-down shopping mall in Croydon, London.
The logistics of keeping a massive 35mm film shoot a secret in a public London shopping mall are staggering. But what really cements her industry power is the cast she assembled for this video.
The cast list is absurd. It features the entire couch lineup from an October 2025 episode of The Graham Norton Show. Domhnall Gleeson plays her love interest. They take an Opalite potion to fall in love. But then you have Greta Lee, Jodie Turner-Smith, Louis Capaldi, and Graham Norton himself acting in supporting roles. There's even a cameo and voiceover by Cillian Murphy.
Right, rather than just casting actors, she lifted an entire late-night talk show panel. That is a massive flex of industry muscle. It shows that she can command A-list prestige actors for a secret shoot in a Croydon mall just by asking.
But the unexpected collaborations didn't stop with the music video. I was reading about this EDM crossover with DJ Chris Lake. He did a remix of Opalite that ended up hitting #1 on iTunes. But what stood out to me was Travis Kelce's involvement. The sources claim he acted as the in-house house guy.
He did. Kelce actually facilitated the whole collaboration through Instagram DMs with Chris Lake. And Lake took this incredibly seriously. He spent 2 solid weeks working in Ableton Live, which is the industry standard music production software, perfecting this remix.
He did just phone it in.
Not at all. He actually scrapped his entire first attempt because he got cold feet and wanted it to be flawless. And throughout that entire 2-week process, Kelce was messaging him, providing direct feedback on the audio mixes.
That completely changes the narrative of him just being a muse. He is actively participating in the creative and business ecosystem of her brand. But wait till you hear what came next, because it's incredible how even a pop album or a dance remix can't escape the cultural crossfire these days. The backlash got surprisingly dark.
It really did. And we want to be clear to you, the listener, we are not taking sides here. We are just objectively looking at the reports from our sources. And the sources show how the sheer scale of their fame makes them a lightning rod for broader cultural tensions. Researchers uncovered coordinated right-wing online attacks that absurdly accused the life of a showgirl of promoting Nazism.
It's crazy.
It was a deliberate, manufactured smear campaign.
And it reached the highest levels of political discourse. Donald Trump took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to Truth About Swift, calling her woke and bizarrely stating she is no longer hot.
Beyond the political sphere, the drama spilled over into their personal pasts. Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, posted a Halloween costume with the caption, "He wasn't man enough."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the internet immediately read it as shade. The backlash from fans was so swift and severe that internet sleuths unearthed years-old racist tweets of hers, which ultimately forced her to completely deactivate her Twitter account.
It makes you realize how weaponized their orbit is. Releasing a joyful love song triggers international political smear campaigns and unearths years-old internet drama for anyone even tangentially connected to them. Could this be the biggest pop culture pressure cooker of the decade?
I want you to really consider that for a moment. Think about the crushing weight of that reality. Your past, and the past of anyone you have ever known, is constantly scrutinized and weaponized by millions of people.
It is a total pressure cooker, which I think perfectly explains this new aesthetic we've been seeing. Let's go back to that Manhattan snowstorm on February 24th and 25th. The world is going crazy over the album, the politicians are attacking them, the internet is fighting over the lyrics, and where are they? Spotted at Chez Margaux in the meatpacking district.
Chez Margaux is a highly exclusive 1930s-inspired private members club. It is the kind of place you go when you need to be insulated from the public, and their appearance there signaled a very deliberate shift in their public branding toward what the fashion world calls quiet luxury.
The fashion bloggers dissected every single thread. Swift stepped out in an $8,800 Louis Vuitton black wool blend wrap coat with a shearling collar. And the branding was incredibly subtle. The LV logo was only visible on the cuffs when she rolled up her sleeves.
Very stealth wealth.
Exactly. She paired it with an $1,800 pair of Christian Louboutin Bottili boots and a $4,500 Louis Vuitton Express purse.
By shifting to this aesthetic, she isn't just staying warm in a blizzard, she is strategically future-proofing her brand. The fashion critics immediately drew comparisons between this refined look and the iconic 90s style of Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. It's a calculated move away from the sequins and the spectacle of the Eras Tour, signaling that this is a mature, established partnership.
But I have to ask, playing devil's advocate here, is it really a retreat into privacy? Or is wearing nearly $15,000 worth of designer clothes to an exclusive club in Manhattan, knowing the paparazzi are outside, just a different kind of performance?
That is the brilliant tension of it. It's performative privacy. They are projecting the image of retreating, which manages public fatigue, while still generating massive headlines. But behind closed doors, they are actively trying to build real domestic rituals. Travis talked on his podcast about how they woke up at 8 to 5 a.m. that Sunday in New York just to watch the U.S. men's hockey team win gold at the Milan Winter Olympics.
They watched from the first puck drop to the finish, and even paused to call Travis's dad, Ed Kelce, to wish him a happy birthday.
Exactly. It's an active effort to maintain normalcy. And it mirrors the themes in her song with Loodles, where she literally sings about dreaming of a driveway with a basketball hoop and having a couple kids. She sings about telling the world to leave them alone and bossing up to settle down.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because settling down for a billionaire pop star and an NFL legend requires some massive professional pivoting. Let's look at the business side of this empire, starting with Travis. He's 36 years old now. He's won multiple Super Bowls. The rumors are swirling that he is seriously contemplating retiring from the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason.
And he is staring down an incredibly lucrative soft landing. Industry reports indicate that Amazon Prime is aggressively eyeing Kelce to replace Kirk Herbstreit on Thursday Night Football.
And the number is huge, right?
The rumored offer on the table is a staggering $15 million a year. That role perfectly leverages his deep football knowledge and the massive broadcasting appeal he has already built through his podcast.
That is a phenomenal pivot. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing in the business world. While he's fielding massive broadcasting offers, he is simultaneously dealing with the friction of managing a massive portfolio. Kelce and his teammate Patrick Mahomes recently opened a Kansas City steakhouse called 1587 Prime, combining Mahomes' number 15 and Kelce's 87.
And they are currently being sued for copyright and trademark infringement. A Boston-based clothing brand called 1587 Sneakers claims that the NFL Players Restaurant is causing market confusion. It might seem like a minor legal hiccup in the grand scheme of their empire, but it perfectly illustrates the constant friction they face. Even when they try to quietly invest in a local steakhouse, it results in federal trademark lawsuits.
The scale of their lives is just unfathomable. Which brings us to the ultimate piece of their portfolio, where the personal and the professional collide on a global stage. The wedding.
Here we go.
Rumor has it the date is set for June 13th, 2026.
The 13th, naturally. Swift's famously lucky number.
Right. And the rumored location is Watch Hill, Rhode Island, where she famously owns a sprawling coastal estate. But I want to talk about the guest list, because the sources are treating this less like a romantic celebration and more like the ultimate Hollywood status test.
Getting an invitation to this wedding is effectively the modern litmus test for relevance and standing in the entertainment industry. It is a very clear mapping of Hollywood alliances.
So if this wedding is the ultimate status test, who actually made the cut in the sources we reviewed?
The in crowd is very telling. You've got her longest-standing loyalists like Selena Gomez, Gigi Hadid, and her producer Jack Antonoff. Then you have newer fixtures like Sabrina Carpenter and the Hames sisters, alongside their new shared football family, Patrick and Brittany Mahomes.
A very tight mix of old loyalty and new partnerships. But the out crowd is a fascinating read. Obviously, former flames are completely off the table. No Joe Alwyn, no Harry Styles. The Kardashians are definitely out, given the deeply entrenched history there. Justin and Hailey Bieber are off the list. And Meghan Markle, who has reportedly been very eager to secure an invite and build a public friendship, is considered highly unlikely to receive one.
But the most shocking rumored snub, the one that really signals a shift, is Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. For years, they were Swift's closest confidants. They were front and center in the VIP suites at Chiefs games with her just a couple of seasons ago.
Our sources suggest this rift actually stems from the legal and PR disputes surrounding filmmaker Justin Baldoni that Lively got pulled into recently. It seems to have caused a real fracture in their relationship.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this guest list tells a very specific story about where Swift is in her life right now. As she enters her late 30s, she is clearly transitioning away from the hyper-visible, sprawling squad era that defined her 20s. She is prioritizing a much smaller, intensely vetted, and fiercely protected inner circle.
It's all about quality over quantity now. When you zoom out and look at the massive scope of the Swift-Kelce empire in 2026, it is truly breathtaking. There's so much more than just a pop star and a football player. They are a highly coordinated, symbiotic global brand. They are navigating microscopic public scrutiny, trademark lawsuits, and literal political smear campaigns. And yet, amidst all that chaos, they're trying to maintain the quiet intimacy of a normal couple, waking up early to watch winter sports in their pajamas.
It is a masterclass in duality.
It really is. And for you listening, I think the true mastery of this couple isn't just in their ability to write catchy, record-breaking songs or to win Super Bowls. The real genius is in their ability to seamlessly orchestrate their own narrative. They have figured out how to turn something as simple as walking through the snow in a Louis Vuitton coat into a masterstroke of brand evolution.
And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today as you digest all of this. In an era where every single lyric you write is dissected for its literal meaning by thousands of people on Reddit, where every coat you wear is priced out and analyzed by fashion blogs within minutes, and where every past acquaintance is scrutinized by the global media, is it actually possible to achieve the paparazzi-free married life that Swift so clearly longs for and sings about in Will It All? Or, by the very act of singing about wanting privacy to millions of people, does that inherently make you an even bigger target for the public's obsession?
That is the ultimate million-dollar question. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.